Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Talks a Lot Boys Christmas Special. That's right, we did a Thanksgiving one, now we're doing a Christmas one. There's no stopping us, except that there's no more holidays anytime soon, so this is the last one we're doing. In the recent future, we're not doing it anymore. I'm the host, my name is Tyler, as always, and I'm joined, once again, by the boys. We got Brennan.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And you got Kyle.
And happy holidays.
And a happy new year also is the thing that people say around this time, because the year's about to end.
Sure.
Boy, 2020, it's coming to a close, and all of our problems are magically going to disappear when that ball drops in New York, and no one's there to watch it because we're all being hit by a plague still. That's just, man, good times.
I've always been seeing memes where like it goes to like what is it, 1160?
Oh yeah.
It just stays 2020.
It never ends. I tell you what though, the moment I get those 2021 glasses in the mail, man, everything's gonna be fine. All right, you know what?
Everyone's still favorite. Make the weird year glasses. Like there's no circles anymore. How do they work?
I don't know, but I know that last year they were perfect, and that was all of the perfection that we got for 2020 was in the fact that the glasses managed to make actual glasses
from there.
That was the top. That was where it started.
Oh my god. Anyway, we're gonna take the next hopefully no more than an hour of your time to forget about all that plague bullshit stuff. Just get it all out of your heads, because right now we're gonna be talking about Christmas, and specifically Christmas specials, and specifically animated Christmas specials.
Nice.
That's right. Oh, yeah. We're doing another power ranking, just like we always do on this channel. Checking our friendships at the door. Nothing is safe. We're going to be breaking down 10 of the most popular animated Christmas specials, and we're going to be ranking them from worst to first in typical Talks a Lot Boys fashion. Oh boy.
Man, I don't even know where to start. But you know what, Tyler? Why don't you give us that rundown of the list of movies that we're hitting? Because oh boy.
Well, here it is, folks. Here are 10 Christmas movies that we have decided to pit against each other today. In the spirit of Christmas and in the spirit of just objectively hating everything as we do. First up, we got Rudolph, the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Second up, Frosty the Snowman. Third, The Year Without a Santa Claus, followed by Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which are two separate movies, which I always mix up. Then we have How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original, not the reboot from a couple years ago, not the creepy live-action one, just the standard 25-minute long Dr. Seuss cartoon.
Bro, the reboot came out in like 2000.
But then another reboot came out with
I'm talking like the animated reboot came out like last year.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I was
thinking
like
of
Jim
Carrey.
Carrey.
Yeah, there's too many. I do like the new reboot for what it's worth, but
oh really?
The original's the best. So, next we have A Charlie Brown Christmas, probably the most classic one on here. Followed by The Polar Express, which is just Tom Hanks singing about hot chocolate for 2 hours, I think, if memory serves.
Yeah, that's all I remember.
And trying to corral some kids.
Next up, we got The Nightmare Before Christmas. Some people consider it a Halloween movie. Some people consider it a Christmas movie. I guess it's both, so we're keeping it. Next is A Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol. There's a lot of Christmas carols that we could have chosen, but I just watched the Mickey one the other day, so I put that one on the list.
So suck at every other carol.
Yeah, it's also my girlfriend's favorite, so I told her I would put it on.
Gotcha.
And lastly is a new Christmas movie called Klaus, which is a Netflix exclusive that I also just watched the other day.
I think it came out last year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it came out last year.
Yeah, I watched it like right after it came out for like absolutely no reason other than hey look, the season there it is on our TVs, yeah. And it's really good.
I like missed it when it first came out, and then by the time I like got around to it, it was no longer Christmas time, so it felt wrong. So I put it off until this year, and then I watched it, and I'm just gonna get this right out of the way. I'm gonna table Klaus right off the bat. It is not going on the bottom half of the list. That movie is immaculate. It is so good on so many levels, man.
100%.
Brennan, have you seen Klaus?
I have not.
then you're gonna have to take our fucking word for it that this movie is amazing.
I'm gonna have to, yeah.
It made me feel the feels that a lot of these other classic ones felt, while also like kind of retelling a story that is very classic, you know?
Yeah. I thought it was like it was a really like fresh and unique take on Christmas. And it has like the dopest animation I've seen since like Into the Spider-Verse. Like it's just I can't tell if it's 2D or 3D. It's just really fucking cool and different, and I love it.
I think it got nominated for like best animated movie.
I think it did, yeah.
I don't know if it won. I don't remember, but I think it got nominated. If I remember,
I think it did too. Yeah.
But
so anyway, yeah, Klaus is off the table right now. Not part of the discussion. We have to start with the weakest links. Does anybody have anything that they want to immediately throw on the chopping block? I know I do, but I typically start, so I want to see if anybody else hates anything on this list.
Brennan, what do you think, man? Because I personally, this feels like we say it a lot, but it's like picking our least favorite child. But like all of these have such nostalgic like spots in my heart that I'm like, I don't even. It hurts to say anything, honestly.
Probably the one that I am the least familiar with, except for Klaus, since I haven't seen it, would be Mickey Christmas Carol. Mm-hmm. However, I don't think you guys would want to put that low. Although I don't know. I mean,
controversially, I will say I want it to be on the lower half of the list, but I don't think it should be the bottom.
Yeah. Can you refresh me on what that is? Because I don't know.
So A Christmas Carol is Scrooge.
Yes. Oh.
And this is just the Mickey version of it.
Yeah. I do remember this now.
Yeah.
I would second putting it lower just because it's reskinning the Christmas Carol.
And well, my problem with it isn't that it's reskinning it, it's just that it's way too short. Like as a guy who grew up watching like a Muppet Christmas Carol, which is like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Or like the Christmas Carol with like Patrick Stewart in it, which is like 2 hours long. And then going to see the Mickey version, which is like 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. They cut out so much stuff that it just feels like they're speed running the story. Like you get all the bits that you need, but like I don't feel invested in it at all because like there is no depth to it. They just hit you with like the big points as fast as possible. And like the fact that it's Disney characters makes me like it a lot because I am a simp for Disney. But like, I don't know, just from like a storytelling perspective, there's just the Christmas Carol has been told in significantly better ways than that. And even though it's got Mickey characters and I love them, I don't think it stacks up to a lot of the other things on this list personally.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't think it should be the very bottom. I just think it should be in the bottom half.
Yeah. I mean, to clarify, reskinning the Christmas Carol with lovable Mickey characters is anything but bad, honestly.
Right, honestly.
Because Christmas Carol is like just a bunch of people and, it's classic, but like Mickey characters, you know, and you love, and that's cool. It is still like not a unique story, but it's also characters that are lovable. So like, you win some, you lose some there. I don't know which way you lean on that, but I don't know. I did not remember that it was that short, so I guess that is definitely a tick against it, which we could also throw Grinch in that same category. But.
Right. But my thing is, though, like, the Grinch...
It's a classic.
The Grinch was made to be that short.
Yeah, originally.
Because, like, my beef with the reboots is that they're too long. Like, I do admire the newest reboot, like the Benedict Cumberbatch one. Like, I admire what they tried doing with it. Like, obviously, the animation in that one is, like, amazing. But, like, trying to give the Grinch actual motivation for why he hates Christmas, it's admirable. And it makes the movie make a lot more sense. However, they are fleshing out a, like, 10-page poem into a 2-hour-long movie, and you just have to add so much to it to make that compelling that it essentially just changes the entire story. So I think that, like, this is why I like the original Grinch the best, because it is literally just the poem. They don't add anything, they don't take anything out, they just read it to you and show it to you, and it's done. And like, that's a case of where I think that the shortness is a good thing. Whereas like the Mickey Christmas Carol, it's like they took a really long thing and they shortened it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler, I have to ask though, because we're not here to talk about the new Grinch. We're here to talk about these 10, and You said you had one you wanted to throw in the chopping block.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, because Brennan and I really don't know where to go, why don't you just start swinging, I guess? You know, why don't you just take a stab at our favorite childhood memories?
Sorry, Scene Kids and Perusers of Hot Topic. I think Nightmare Before Christmas is bad. Like, there's nothing really on this list that I think is just actually bad. And I will say, I will give it to Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a really fun idea. You know, Tim Burton is a genius. He comes up with some really cool stuff. Art style, animation, it's all incredible. Such a good concept, just executed so poorly that, like, I don't dislike it because I just think it's bad. I dislike it because it's such wasted potential. Like, it could be this really good, cool thing. And a lot of people think that it's this really good, cool thing. But, like, at the end of the day, just, like, the music and the story are just kind of thrown together and bad. And, like, when 90% of the songs that you create in a musical don't rhyme and, like, don't actually, like, help to build your story in any kind of, like, constructive ways, that to me means that your soundtrack is bad. Like, I don't know. Like, I literally just watched 2, like, 30-minute long videos of a dude breaking down every single song and why, for the most part, with a few exceptions, they're very bad and the story is very bad. So, like, after seeing that and having it, like, explained to me in excruciating detail of, like, hey, this isn't how you should make a musical, I'm like, oh, you're right. I can't unsee that. You've taught me that this is bad, and now I just think it's bad. So that's where I stand on this.
Yeah. Tyler?
Yeah.
Tyler, first of all, fuck you. Second of all, I can't 100% disagree with you.
Good.
I have a lot of sentimental attachment to this, as you know. As many people know, I played Oogie Boogie in the musical of this. Like, I say the musical as in, like, oh, it's so perfect. No, it was just like a community theater production, but it was a blast. But anyways, and I personally love the music, but, like, your whole point of it, like, kind of like all together as, like, one soundtrack, it really does not flow the way you would hope it would. I think each individual song, because you're right, like, musicals get written to flow together. A lot of things, like, reprise into each other. There's a similar tune throughout. Like, there's a lot of things that you do in a musical to make it all one flowing piece. And this was written as if it was, like, individual songs that were going to be played on the radio by themselves and then stitched together into one thing. And even those songs, like you said, aren't even written super well anyways. I mean, like, I had trouble memorizing the Oogie Boogie song because it's not catchy at all.
The Oogie Boogie song specifically, like, it's just, you know how many times he just, like, the lyrics are just saying, like, oh man, I can't stop laughing, but, like, he never actually laughs. He just keeps talking about how he's laughing so hard. That's not how that works. Like, I don't get it.
You're not wrong. I mean, like, it hurts my heart because I personally love the musical, but the reason why I think I could see it being very low on this list is it really a Christmas movie? Is it a freaking Halloween movie? Make up your mind, Nightmare Before Christmas. Come on. And no other thing on this list makes me say that. So also I didn't watch this, like, movie for a very long time because I saw Oogie Boogie when I was very young. I got scared and I turned it off. And
that's valid.
Ironically, I ended up playing Oogie Boogie later in life. But
wow, way to face your fears, champ.
Thanks. But no, I instead, when I was like, oh god, he's gonna eat me, I then went inside of him and became him, and it was great.
Wow.
And it wasn't
that is
fun,
some deep shit.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, no, I can agree that this might need to be the bottom of the list. I mean, all these movies are really inviting, and then this one just kind of scares children away, and that alone,
which is kind of the point.
Like,
but I mean, yeah. children probably die in that movie. Like, he literally just drops off, like, murder bots and snakes at some of these kids' houses. Like,
I will say, though, the technical achievement of that movie is incredible.
Oh, yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, from, like, a visual and, like, technical perspective, like, that movie still holds up today. Like, the animation is top-notch. I love, like, claymation stuff. Mm-hmm. And that is, like, very, very, very good, well-executed animation. It's just a shame that the story and songs that make up the rest of it are just not that great.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Brennan, do you feel the same?
Yeah. I mean, I always thought that the musical, like, performances in it were odd. Like Kyle said, nothing in it's, like, really catchy.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like Santa Claus is Coming to Town, where I was talking about before, where they're like, 1 foot in front of the other. Like, it doesn't have anything like that. Like, that's like memorable that, I haven't seen it in a while, but, I could fucking pick up that tune anytime. While I couldn't just start singing A Nightmare Before Christmas song.
Right. Oh, yeah. I literally, the only two I can think of are like, what's this? What's this? Yeah. And then even the song that I know and learned and memorized, I only can remember off the top of my head I'm the boogeyman. And that's like it. Because that's like what he is. It is interesting because, like, I think of a lot of the songs and then, but I can't remember them. And I'm like, well, fuck. Like, I like, oh, this is Halloween. Oh, the what's this? Yeah. And Oogie Boogie song. And they're all, because I shouldn't say they're not catchy, because they are, but they're written in a way that they don't stick in your head quite like 1 foot in front of the other, or fucking, I don't know, Frosty the Snowman. Like, just...
I mean, we literally don't have time to talk about all the flaws of this movie, so I'm just going to tell all of our viewers to go watch Brental Floss's 2-part series of him breaking down how terrible Nightmare Before Christmas is. You'll thank me later. You'll get all the deets there.
I will be
that. I gotta say really quick. Like, even though the graphical work is top notch, a lot of it is like visually unpleasing to look at.
Oh yeah, it is unsettling in the best way. Like,
in the best way. Like, it is intentional, but like, when you think about Christmas movies, like, I don't necessarily want to see Santa depicted the way that he is depicted in that movie, as opposed to some of these other ones that make me happy.
Or I can't remember like any of the characters' names, but like when the one guy's like, I guess skin or whatever is hooked up to the ceiling fan, and then like he just basically like unravels, and he's like a bunch of bugs or whatever.
Yeah, that's Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, I couldn't even fucking tell you that guy was. So that's how like little I like really fuck with that movie.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
All right, so we're gonna just lock that into the bottom spot and move on. So as far as other contenders for these next spots, I think Mickey Christmas Carol is definitely in the running. We've already established that. Is there anything else that we would want to put below Mickey Christmas Carol, or do we want to throw that into the number 9 spot?
I can't think of anything personally. It might just because I can remember all the other ones and like I have like a fonder nostalgia for them all.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know why, but I have a gravitation towards Polar Express
being next.
But then that's the thing. I don't see it being under a Mickey Mouse Carol. I see it not being very high above it.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, I've only seen Polar Express once, but I remember not enjoying a single second of it. The only thing I'll give it is that, like, for the time, the animation was like pretty top notch. So like, kudos to it for that. But I don't remember liking the story. The only things I remember about it at all were just that like everybody looked really creepy. There was just this weird like uncanny valley aspect of like the faces where they like tried to be photoreal but like not enough, and it was just kind of odd. And then like just Tom Hanks being an asshole with a mustache for like 90% of the movie and singing about hot chocolate. That's all I really remember.
I have a lot to say about Polar Express. I'll just say that I don't think it should be next. But I will say that we can chat about it soon, though. I'm very down to chat about it soon.
Well, do we want to just lock in Mickey Christmas Carol as number 9 then?
Yeah, sorry, Mickey.
Yeah, sorry, Mickey.
It's the tried and true tale of Ebenezer Scrooge, or in this case, Scrooge McDuck.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I mean, it's good, but I mean,
yeah,
I think this list is just loaded with better.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's just been told in better ways, and compared to some of this other stuff, it doesn't really do it. Sorry, Don Anna. Don't hate me.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, the one that I have like the most attachment to on this list, like as of recently, is the one that's last place. So I don't
fair enough.
feel any better.
So what do we want to be number 8? We know Polar Express is kind of knocking on the door. Kyle, why don't you just dive into that for us real quick,
I'm down.
Since we're on the topic.
See, you mentioned that you've seen it like once. Yeah. I have seen this movie at least 30 times.
Jesus Christ.
Because it was always played around Christmas time in schools, and that alone was like 20 showings of it. Then my family liked it. Then my grandma liked it, and I just watched it so many it just got tossed on all the fucking time. And you were very right with the whole like animation thing. At the time, it was very top notch, and I remember like when it first came out, being like, "Whoa, what is this? This looks like me." But a little not, but like me. And so there is definitely that. But right before we started recording today, I sat down with my wife, Kelsey, and I showed her our list, right? And I was like, you know what I'm leaning towards being near the bottom? And she was like, what? Polar Express? And I was like, yeah, Polar Express. And she was like, hang the fuck on. And I was like, oh? And she ran me through like the most like detailed list of that movie ever, and reminded me why it's as popular as it is. Because I haven't seen it in a very long time, and part of me just recalls the fatigue of it, seeing it as many times as I did.
Sure.
But like, I don't know how many times you guys have seen it. I know, Tyler, you said like once, and I don't know how much you've seen it, Brennan. But
I've only seen it like twice.
Okay, so this movie, like, has a lot of really great music in it. The Hot Chocolate song, obviously. I mean, come on. But
I jam that shit
it's
on
obviously
the
a
daily.
top-notch banger.
Believe, which is a very iconic Christmas song to this day, came from this soundtrack, which is sung by Josh Groban, but also the fucking thing. And fucking the kids singing song that I can't remember the name of the top of my head. I literally just listened to it before we started recording. I can't remember the name of it, but the one with all the kids are singing together. And yeah, I don't remember, but I thought I had it for a second, and then I lost it again.
Nice.
But there is something about this movie, right, that has that Christmas magic in it. And
is it because the movie's about Christmas magic specifically?
It could be, Tyler. You might be onto something. So when I think of this movie, right, other than the fatigue and like remembering everything about it and what happens in it, because like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen it, the way that, you know, this kid like has no faith in Christmas, then all of a sudden a train rolls down his fucking street, and it's just like, here to pick up kids to see Santa. And it's
like Inception style. It's just like breaking through the fucking concrete.
Yeah, exactly. But in not a brain-breaking way. You know, it's great. But like he gets on this train, he's got like doubts about Christmas and all there's a lot of like different characters that like all are helping him to get to the fucking to Santa. And like I very vividly remember the sequence where like they're sliding along the ice, like trying to control the train and shit. And there was that hobo that was on the train, and then you find out that he's just like a Christmas ghost, like trying to help the kid and like have more Christmas spirit. And very, very specifically, do I remember the little bell? I don't know if you guys recall the bell from it, where like you could only hear the ring of the bell if you had like you believed, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you recall that. And like to this day, I still have a little ornament that is like a bell that like was like supposed to be like the Polar Express bell. And I remember I got it when I was very young, like as a Christmas gift, and I like had it on my tree, and I so fondly would look at that bell and be like, yeah, I still believe. So like this movie, man, like I have come full circle on it, and I think it's pretty fucking great.
Okay. That is a fair argument then, because like I haven't seen it enough to even like really say that I hate it, because like I saw it when I was a fucking kid. I had no taste. Maybe I'd see it today and think that it was great. I don't know. So I can't really say that I think it should be next when I haven't seen it in like at least 10 years. So
if it means anything, I think like just having Kelsey tell me about the movie again and like the little things that happen in it and like just like bringing all these memories back, I get more like of that like Christmas season spirit from just thinking about that movie than a lot of the other movies on this list.
Yeah, I feel that.
And I mean, maybe it's because like you said, it is supposed to be about Christmas magic, you know, it's very tailored around that. But like even compared to something like Frosty or Rudolph, this movie, it gets me more in that mood, you know? Yeah. Like it is just very purely that like childhood spirit and fun that Christmas always was. So
that's valid. That is definitely valid. Can I say something about Rudolph?
Sure.
So like I'm torn on Rudolph, right? Like part of me wants to put it near the top of the list because like it's fucking Rudolph. It's like the classic among classics, right? Like I watch it every year. I try to watch it every year. But like the message of Rudolph is so fucking terrible. And, like, I don't know if that holds it back enough to be in the bottom half of the list. Because, like, the entire message of the movie is just that, like, if you are different, then you are subject to being abused unless your difference can be exploited and then you are accepted into society. Like, how fucked up is that? Like,
that's fair. That's fair.
I don't know. Like, part of me wants to put it in the bottom half specifically just because, wow, Rudolph is actually really dark and fucked up if you think about it from, like, a propaganda perspective.
I mean, honestly, if we're talking about it, Grinch is pretty fucking creepy, too. Like, not only does it look creepy, but it's like this dude that hates Christmas is like, I'm gonna fucking sneak in your house and ruin your Christmas.
Yeah, but at least that's like in good fun. It's not like telling you that like, you know,
it's not
you
the same
look
degree
weird.
as Rudolph.
If that weirdness can't be exploited, then I guess you better go fuck yourself. Your dad won't love you either. Like, it's just like, it's super fucked up. The Grinch is, and plus the Grinch is like, he has a happy ending. He's like, oh, never mind. I like Christmas. And he saves everything. Like, Rudolph, it's only a good ending because they're just like, oh, fuck, you came back. Good. We actually needed you this whole time. Sorry we were an asshole. Go do work for me. Like, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Tyler,
I think you're fucking spot on.
I think you're spot on too. But here's something about Rudolph that, like, in my mind, trying to break down like the differences between these movies, I'm like trying to find things that are less good about one than the other. Yeah. And something about Rudolph I like is that the cast of characters in that movie are all very memorable to me. You know,
that is true. Yeah,
and they're all very vibrant in my mind. And like the fact that like Hermie is like a dentist and shit. Like I can't remember that much about Frosty. Name another character other than Frosty the Snowman and Frosty the Snowman.
Elizabeth. I think that was the girl's name. I don't actually remember. What was the creepy magician's name? He had a fun name, didn't he?
I forgot there was a creepy magician in Frosty the Snowman.
I have to look it up because I remember he had a weird name. Yeah, because he would like he was like a magician and he like juggled the eggs and he broke them. He's like messy, messy, messy. You don't remember that? He was like sickly green. He tried stealing the silk hat so he could do magic. That was like the whole plot of the movie.
I gotta find that. Messy.
That's the only thing I fucking remember from that movie is that specific line from that character.
What the hell? That was out of context. I want to put this at the bottom of the list. What the fuck's happening?
Yeah, he had like a rabbit that like kept stealing his hat because like he had the magic hat. That's what it was. He had a magic hat and then he tried pulling a rabbit out of it and it fucked up and then the rabbit gave the hat to Frosty and then it turned Frosty into a snowman. He's like, my hat is magic, and then he like tried getting the hat back. That was the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now okay.
But, like, we had to look up these things, right? My point is that there's not a lot of memorable characters in Frosty. Yes. That was my point. It's a lot of children, a magician, and Frosty. Like, that's really all it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that means
his name was Professor Hinkle, which is not a magician name, but okay.
What?
Sure. And the girl's name was Karen, not Elizabeth. Of course it was Karen.
Yeah, honestly, maybe
Jesus.
this goes next. I don't.
Well, yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna fight it.
I don't know.
When you look up characters and the second character to come up is traffic cop. Like I think you did something wrong.
That's what I'm saying, man. I didn't realize it was that bad, but like, there's not a lot of good characters in that movie.
Yeah, no, Frosty's 7. I don't care. I'm locking it in.
Wait, 7 or 8?
I'm sorry, 8. Yeah.
Okay.
I just can't count. It's 8.
My grandma listens to this. I'm sorry. She loves Frosty, but like, and like, I love Frosty too. Like, don't get us wrong. We love Frosty. We love all of these. But
also, like, why the fuck does Karen wear shorts in wintertime? Like, she's got a coat and boots and earmuffs, and she's wearing fucking shorts. It's snowing. You deserve to die of a cold. Frosty did not need to die for you, selfish bitch.
Or maybe she's like wearing like a skirt, but even then,
either way,
right?
Either way, her knees are exposed. She deserved to die. Frosty did not need to sacrifice himself for her.
Should have pulled the
So I watched while you guys were talking about it. I watched like the beginning of it with the magician.
Yeah,
and I'm actually disappointed this isn't last.
What?
Because like the audio and like. I mean, I know that's such like a weird. I mean, this thing came out in 1969, but even like the audio with like the voices is like so fucking like odd.
No, you know what?
I don't. No. Wait, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not gonna say put it last because I stand behind.
I mean, I think we're already a little bit too far along, but like, damn, like watching the first 5 minutes of it, I'm like, this fucking
we should
sucks.
put it underneath Mickey?
I do.
We could, yeah.
I don't know.
No, you know what? They're already locked in. We're not going to change it.
Yeah, let's put Frosty.
It's locked in at 8. We're going to move on.
It'd feel weird to put Frosty.
But yeah, I guess Frosty's way shittier than we remember. That's fun.
Yeah.
I love Sorry
Frosty.
to ruin that for everybody.
Right? We love Frosty. It's not shitty. It's just not as good as the other ones left.
Do you remember the really weird sequel where John Goodman voiced Frosty? What? And there was like really unhealthy looking characters and there was like a parade about pesticide or something?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
And there was like an old man on a snowflake that drank coffee the whole time, hot cocoa the whole time. Yeah.
I do remember this.
That one was probably worse. Luckily, we're not talking about it. What do we want to be after Frosty or above Frosty? We only have 2 more spots for the bottom half. Can I propose? I know that we are only on like number 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
But can Rudolph be 5? Because I think it is so divisive in its charm, yet like fucked up message that it deserves to be exactly in the middle.
I'm not opposed to this. I'm not opposed. I was right when you suggested it, I went, what? And then I went, and now I'm kind of I don't know.
Because it is like the best and the worst at the same time, and I don't want to put it in the bottom half, but like also because it's so fucked up, I feel like it should just be right in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm gonna put it out there. Is it next?
No, it's not next.
Are you sure? What's next?
I want to say A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Really?
Yes, I don't think it holds up that well. I really don't. I never really have. Like, I watch it every year, but I never think it's good. It's pretty fucking boring and slow, for being perfectly honest. Like, there's not much appeal to it, if we're being honest. Even as far as, like, Peanuts cartoons go, it's not the best one by any stretch of the imagination. It is extremely boring.
And I'm gonna put it out there. I've directed Charlie Brown musicals before, and I'm gonna say that I don't think the story and a lot of the Peanuts things are that great.
No, honestly, the Peanuts just aren't that. They're cute. They're, holiday fun usually. Outside of that, like it's usually pretty bad.
It's not the best thing, but it's definitely like enjoyable in a sense. I think the Thanksgiving one stands out in my mind as the most prominent personally. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I think There is something about this one though, with like the tree, the droopy tree, the fucking speech at the end. There's just, I don't know.
I mean, it is very iconic. I'll give you that. I think it is a very important Christmas movie.
You even said yourself that it might be the most iconic of.
Yeah, it is.
Of them.
It really is probably like the most iconic one on this list, arguably.
We're gonna get a lot of hate for this episode.
But I don't think that necessarily makes it objectively good. Just because it's important and like is a classic doesn't mean it's good. Case in point, we just locked in Frosty at number 8. That's a classic, and that shit sucks. Apparently,
Shit sucks.
This
thing fucking sucks.
How long was a Charlie Brown Christmas? I don't remember.
It's only like a 20-minute special. Like it's it's not that long. Most of these are only like an hour, only like 20 minutes or an hour.
Yeah, this one says 30. It's 30 minutes right here.
Charlie Brown's Christmas on YouTube. There's 18 like parts of it, and they're only like a minute 20 each.
Yeah. So it's like 30 minutes minus commercial breaks, basically.
Yeah.
So
I get Tyler. I get where you're coming from. That it is ultimately kind of a boring experience.
Mm-hmm.
Man. I mean, like Kyle said, like there's like I can't remember the kid's name, but like he has like the speech at the end where like he's talking about like
Linus.
Linus.
Nice.
I mean, and then of course like the droopy tree.
The dance scene, like where they're all dancing on the stage and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Well, what would you want to put next if we're not going to put Charlie Brown?
Shit. I really don't know.
There's something to me that's leaning towards Grinch, and I don't know why.
I think that the Grinch is better than Charlie Brown, and I'm willing to like die on that hill.
Yeah, I don't know. I might agree with you.
Like I would say, like personally, Grinch is one of my favorites on this list, but I will not say it is objectively the best. So like, if we want to put it in one of these next few spots, I won't be like super pissed. But I definitely think that it is better than a Charlie Brown Christmas.
See, okay, actually, I think this is the time to bring this up, and I've been kind of waiting on it. There are 4 movies on this list that stand out to me as like full-fledged movies.
Mm-hmm.
And they are The Year Without Santa Claus, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Polar Express, and Klaus. Those 4...
And Rudolph, technically.
I mean, fuck it. But you know, those 4 really stand out as like full-fledged movies to me. Like, they have full plot, they have a lot of characters, they have like a full story that like hits me in a way. And if I'm being honest, I think they're all better than anything else on this list.
Okay.
In my head. Because I know we already said Rudolph 5.
Yes.
So that would put those 4s ahead of it, and that would put Grinch and Charlie Brown Christmas next, the next 2.
I mean, honestly, that's fair. Like, I could totally get behind that.
Yeah, I think I'm on that boat, too.
I'm kind of leaning that way.
Now that you say that, that's where I'm leaning, too. But I definitely think Grinch should be above Charlie Brown.
I can't put my boy Burgermeister Burger anywhere near these.
No, for sure. Brennan, which way are you leaning in the Grinch versus a Charlie Brown Christmas? Because if I'm being honest with you, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Charlie Brown. So it would be up to you,
being higher?
Yeah, to being 6. So it's kind of up to you, Brennan.
Dude,
I don't know.
This is so close.
The Grinch, I'm just going to say, The Grinch is a whimsical and fun and unique idea. Charlie Brown Christmas is just a bunch of depressed 6-year-olds moping for 30 minutes. That's all it is.
But like we said, Brendan, there's a lot of really important and like powerful things in that like just like are seen throughout Christmas.
Yes, whereas but the Grinch is so iconic that it's been rebooted 2 times.
Yes, but in the original Grinch, that's 25 minutes long, there's the dog, there's the Grinch, there's all the who's, and you get in there and you're trying to ruin it, and then she goes, no! And then his heart grows, and that's really it. That's really all the story. I don't think
that you've seen the movie. I started to question if you know what happens in the original Grinch.
The girl goes, no, mister!
It's It's exactly how it happens. He's got the Grinch is like he's got his foot on the big bag of toys. He's shoving it into his wood chipper on top of his mountain of sludge, and Cindy Lou Who sprints up the mountain of sludge, and it's just like, no, Mr. Grinch, that's mean. And he's like, fuck, it is. And then he like jumps into the wood chipper and pulls all the stuff back out, sacrifices his dog so he can pull all the toys back up out of the wood chipper. And then he just runs down into town, distributes it to everyone, and everyone sings that stupid song. It's like, and then he cuts the roast beef, credits. That's the Grinch, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, damn,
By the way, that song's fucking stupid.
What are you talking about? Classic. Christmas classic. I also like how at the end when they sing that one, when he brings all the toys back into the village and they're all in a circle and they were like too lazy to animate the people making room for him, so they just like cut out a section of the people and move them like a door on a hinge. That scene sticks out to me more than any scene in the entire movie because of how fucking dumb it is.
I don't know, Brendan, which way you leaning?
I gotta put Grinch higher.
Yes.
After that, that like I don't know what it was. I mean, growing up, I always gravitated more towards the Grinch than Charlie Brown's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Charlie, like I said, it's more like iconic than it is like good.
Lovable. Yeah, I think there's something very lovable about the Grinch, and I think there's something very iconic about the Peanuts, and I think that lovableness kind of takes the edge, which I can see.
Then like it's like
it's very colorful
it's kind of like a Christmas Carol, like in the sense of, you know, the Grinch is really grumpy and, you know, he's like, well, fuck Christmas, like I'm stealing that shit. And then at the end of it, like, you know, his heart gets all big, and then he's like, wait a minute, like Christmas is the time of year where, you know, joy is shared and people, you know, get gifts for the kids, and it's like the end of the year, everyone's celebrating, you know. It's just like it's the most wonderful time of year.
Yeah. Grinch is basically just like Scrooge on an acid trip.
Pretty much.
Green Harry Scrooge.
That is probably the biggest like TLDR ever. Basically a Christmas Carol. Scrooge on acid.
The most confusing TLDR, but the biggest nonetheless. So I think we have half this list done then.
Yeah.
Give us a recap, Tyler?
Yeah, so recap of the majority of this list. At number 10, Nightmare Before Christmas. Number 9, Mickey Christmas Carol. Number 8, Frosty the Snowman. Number 7, A Charlie Brown Christmas. Number 6, The Grinch Original. Yeah. And number 5, Rudolph. So we're on to the final 4.
I'm not opposed to this. I will say that I really don't know what comes next. There's a part of me that leads a little bit towards Klaus because it doesn't have that same nostalgia to me, but it is a very good movie. Like, it is incredible. Yeah, so I don't know, right? Because the other three have such nostalgic power to me, and then Klaus doesn't as much, but I think Klaus is probably way better created. You know?
Let me hit you with this.
Okay.
Nostalgia does not make a movie good objectively.
But I think in these cases, all these movies are good and nostalgic. I think because I think you're right. You're not wrong. But I think we've weeded through those that regard that like pertains to is like specifically Frosty.
Yeah, I just think that like of all of, not to jump the gun here at all, but like of all the movies on this list, I think that Klaus. I think all of these are movies. I think Klaus is a film.
That's fair.
That's the extent I'm going to take that argument. I think that Klaus like outclasses all of these by a mile.
See, I would lean to agree with you. But we're ranking Christmas specials.
Yes.
And does the fact that it is like a better film overall make it the best Christmas special?
I think so.
I don't know.
Because I also think that, like, at the end, it gives you all the warm fuzzies that you would expect to get. Honestly, like, the rest of these are, like, I only get warm fuzzies from watching any of these because of, like, the nostalgia factor. The fact that Klaus could give me that after only seeing it one time just means it's a really well-written, well-executed movie. And I think that holds a lot of weight, honestly. Like, I think it's hands down the best written movie out of all these. I think it's hands down the most visually pleasing movie out of all of these.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I think visually pleasing is a hard thing to judge between these four because they're all very different. Two of them came out a very, very long time ago. One of them came out like 20 years ago, and the other one came out last year. So I'm trying not to think about how visually pleasing it is in comparison because I don't know if that's.
But even that aside, like, I just think that Klaus has a better story than all these other ones. Like, sure, the Santa Claus ones are fun. Like The Year Without a Santa Claus and like Santa Claus is Coming to Town, both fun. I mean, Santa Claus is Coming to Town is basically and Klaus are in the same vein of like both being origin stories, but I think that Klaus is a much better, not like a better take necessarily, but like, I don't know. I just think Klaus is better, and I need it to not be next. Like, it's too good. It would be a disservice to like the film industry if we said,
well, I don't know if that. I don't know.
I think we've already made some disservices to the film industry. With
our podcast in general, yeah.
We've made a disservice to several industries.
I think we're already well past that point. I mean, Tyler, I haven't seen Klaus. I mean, but I understand your taste. I can imagine that it's probably arguably the best movie amongst these. Okay, but man, but The Year Without a Claus and Santa Claus is Coming to Town, like these two. I mean, of course, like the argument was made. Okay, well, like nostalgia isn't necessarily like a carrying factor, but like both of these movies are good and have nostalgia, while Klaus is fantastic, but it hasn't been out long enough to have like real nostalgia. I mean, I don't see it being number 4, but I don't necessarily see it being number 1 either.
I just think it's a better movie in every aspect than anything else on this list. I forgot to even include it because I forgot. Like, I watched it the other day, but it was so good that I didn't even like think about it as being like a Christmas movie because like it's just so much better. Like, I kind of feel bad putting it on this list because I just feel like it's in my eyes, like, it is no contest that Klaus should be number 1. And I'm just like, my opinion is not going to change on this. If I get outvoted, I get outvoted, but like, just it would physically harm me to even suggest that any of the remaining picks were on the same level as that movie.
See, Tyler, I'm going to say right now, I think Klaus should be 4. However, Tyler, I 100% see where you're coming from. And behind the scenes, I was the one that was like, wait, we should do Klaus on this list. And you were like, holy shit, yeah, I forgot. And I was the one that like, reminded you. And like, part of me didn't even want to say it either because like, kind of like what I was saying with like all the others and then these 4 being like actual movies, I think that Klaus was created to be like a standout film. I don't necessarily think that maybe Polar Express a little bit, but the other two Santa Claus movies, I think that they were created more in just the pure spirit of Christmas, not necessarily being like a film, like breaking boundaries.
Yes,
and
which is a fair point.
You're kind of right that isn't fair, but I think the fact that Klaus beats out like Rudolph, Grinch, Charlie Brown, all these like absolute massive icons, literally icons in Christmas, to be like even number 4, I think is a big take for it only being out for a year. All of these things have been things that have been in the eye of the people for 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50 years at this point that like are so lovable, and it like hurts me a little bit, but like I also understand that Klaus as a whole product deserves to be above them. However, I think that there's a point where that stops for me with the fact that it's only kind of been in my life for a year. Like, I think that the idea that we're ranking Christmas specials, I think the other 3 on this list that are left have more of that Christmas special feeling that people gather around the fire for. Heck, I bet you that the majority of the people that watch this might not have even seen Klaus. Brendan hasn't even seen Klaus. Like, nope. It's not Christmas special enough that it has been seen as like a every year Christmas special thing. Like, almost every other thing on this list gets played a bajillion fucking times on Lifetime or whatever the hell it is that they play on, because they're Christmas specials. You know, and I'm sure Klaus will get to that point in years down the line where it has time to like kind of permeate through the eyes of like the people in just Christmas tradition. I guarantee you that this would probably be a lot more popular, but where we're at right now in time, I don't know if I can personally say it beats out the other 3. That's just me, though. That's what I'm saying.
I disagree, but for the sake of time, I will concede.
Okay. Brennan, are you leaning the same way? I know you haven't seen Klaus, and I know you have a lot of passion for specifically one of these movies left too. So
I mean, obviously,
Brennan, can you throw me a bone and at least lock it in at 3? Like, I don't want it to be 4.
I'm just wondering which, because I don't really want it to be 4 either, but
I don't.
I want Polar Express to be 4 personally. Or I'm leaning, but I don't know.
I honestly, Polar Express, like I said, I've seen the movie twice, and both times was like just a completely unemotional experience.
Yeah.
I was not drawn towards the movie, not one iota.
Yeah.
So
I don't even.
I mean,
like,
I feel like.
Keep going, Brennan.
I was gonna say, I feel like saying that's kind of disrespectful, because like there is a ton of like, I mean, it's a deep movie, but like it just doesn't like affect me, if that's like a good portrayal.
And like, to bring up another point, earlier in the podcast we talked about like Frosty doesn't have any. You can't name a single character from Frosty except for Frosty. Well, like, name a single character from the Polar Express, because I fucking can't. It's just generic kids 1 through 15. Tom Hanks and a hobo. Ghost hobo. Like,
I mean, honestly, I'm for Polar Express at 4.
Same.
I was going to say I wanted it 3 after Klaus, and I mean, like, I've already gone on my rant as to why I think it should be, so I won't, but I also know I'm outvoted, and I'm okay with it being 4, because I also think Klaus is a phenomenal film, so I'm okay with this as well. So I'll concede the uncanny value-ness of it, and the fact that I feel like got a little, like, obviously not for you guys, but the fact that it got so overplayed in a lot of scenarios for a lot of people. I feel like the majority of people have seen it too many times. Sure. That kind of fatigue on it. It was just why that I came into this thinking it was going to be in the bottom half, and then I thought about it more, talked with my wife about it and everything, and I was like, realized what it was, and I was like, holy shit, you're right. Oh my god. So I'll concede to it being 4th. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Cool. We'll lock it in.
Sadness.
Now 3, I know you want that to be Klaus. Brennan.
I do.
What are your thoughts? I'm assuming you're going to go for it since you've never seen it.
Yeah. the other two I feel are just like classic Christmas movies. Like,
yeah.
Especially for me, you know, Santa Claus is Coming to Town is like that, and A Christmas Story. I mean, obviously A Christmas Story isn't animated, but those are the 2 like I have to watch at least once, like at Christmas time. I have to.
Yeah, these are like the best of every single thing we've talked about that divided the others, right? Is that it has the long time nostalgia. It has the fact that it's kind of created as an entire movie, an entire like story. It has lovable characters. Like, it hits all the notes that have divided every other thing on this list up until this point.
Right.
All into one package. And there's 2 of them that often get confused because they look very similar.
Yeah.
And they have similar names, which is unfortunate.
I think they're made by the same studio, so like, yes.
I honestly don't know which one to go for. However, it seems Brennan has a more obvious choice.
Yeah.
I have a lot of nostalgia towards the Year Without a Santa Claus. Specifically, though, it's because of Heat Miser and Snow Miser.
Same, yeah.
I think past that, I don't have as much nostalgia for it as I do one foot in front of the other, Topper,
Yeah.
Burgermeister Burger, and everything. Like, there's a lot to that one that is just...
Here's my thoughts, just real quick. Because, like, I watched The Year Without a Santa Claus way more than I watched Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Mm-hmm. But if we are breaking this down in the way that you guys are saying, as, like, what is, like, the essential, like, Christmas special as far as, like, Christmas vibes and, like, all that jazz, like, what feels like Christmas more, it's definitely Santa Claus is Coming to Town, in my opinion, because, like, that whole movie oozes Christmas and good feelings and shit, and, like, The Year Without a Santa Claus, like, a lot of the movie, honestly. Like Heat Miser and Freeze Miser or whatever his name is,
Snow
like
Miser, Cold Miser.
Cold Miser. Wow, that's a shitty name.
Cold Miser.
I'm pretty sure it's Snow. I saw it online.
I think it is Snow Miser. Yeah.
Yeah, it is Snow Miser. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Snow Miser and Heat Miser. Like,
I thought it was Cold Miser too, and then I looked it up and I was like, oh shit, it's Snow Miser before we started recording.
I think, like, looking back on it, like, the majority of that movie, like, does not have any snow in it. Like, it's a lot of, like, talking with, like, obviously with Snow Miser, there's snow. Like, the Heat Miser stuff, and, like, Mother Nature, and going to, like, fucking Dicktown, USA, or whatever the fuck, and, like, I don't know, a lot of that movie, as much as I loved it growing up, like, thinking back on it, a lot of it doesn't even really feel like Christmas, in a way.
I can see where you're coming from. I don't personally agree, but I know why. I get why you're saying that. Like,
yeah.
I definitely... It doesn't have that same level of, like, oozing Christmas, like you were saying, as Santa Claus Coming to Town. Because even Santa Claus is Coming to Town is like it's Santa Claus, he's becoming Santa, wow! And this one's like, there is no Santa, what are we going to do?
Yeah,
and that's kind of the opposite of that. Alone,
yeah, it's like Santa being sick and going incognito into, like, random U.S. towns with, like, weird demigods helping him out. Like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, like, just like real life, the bad guy's a German guy. I mean...
Oh, when you put it that way, it's gotta be...
The list is over.
I mean, and then, like... and then, like, Santa Claus, like... Oh, my gosh. Like, because he's, what, Kringle or whatever. Because what happened? What they have the kid, and then, like, someone puts it on Burgermeister's doorstep, and they're like, "Raise his kid," and then he's like, "Fuck it, send him to the asylum, or the orphan asylum, or whatever." And then he ends up, like, turning around like Burgermeister and, like, manages to become Santa Claus. Like, how the
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't, like. I mean, obviously, I'm completely butchering the story, but it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't get more Christmas than that. Cause, like,
I know.
Because I always thought of Burgermeister as, like, how's I putting it? Like, with how Scrooge and the Grinch are, where, like, they're, like, really, like, down and, like, depressed and, like, you know, just pouty fucking people that hate the idea of Christmas and hate the idea of happiness. And, like, Burgermeister is, like, the personification of, like, everything that's, like, shitty in the world that, like, just completely, like, steps all over joy.
Right.
And then, like, Kris Kringle manages to, like punch through that, and he's like, oh, well, you know, this is the most wonderful time of year, Christmas. Like, everyone gets gifts, like, everyone's merry, everyone's, you know, full of joy. I don't know. Like, for me, it's like, it is like the quintessential, like, Christmas special. You know, I mean, even, like, just, like, in, like, sheer, like, some symbolism.
Yeah. And I mean, it's about a ginger kid beating a German with a snow wizard. I mean, there's nothing Christmassier than that.
It's perfect.
Like, I didn't even mention the snow wizard. Like, he manages to teach him how to walk.
Yeah. Wait, is the snow wizard the one who teaches him how to walk?
No. He doesn't he show the?
Oh, he shows the snow wizard.
He shows the snow wizard how to walk.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, you just put one foot in front of the other,
and there's, like,
you know,
the
song
happens
happens
and shit. Yeah.
Well, he is credited as Winter Warlock.
That's just whimsical as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's literally like the world is full, it, like, lacks joy, but, like, Kris Kringle comes and gives everyone joy.
Right.
Just as Santa Claus, you know, brings everyone joy in the form of, you know, hopping down the chimney and giving presents.
Yeah.
So, I mean, which is literally what he does in the movie. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's as classic as you can get. I mean, if that's what we're ranking these off of, then that would have to take the number one spot in my book.
You know, can I put something out there?
Sure.
Would you guys be I know Tyler won't be. Would you guys be opposed to putting Klaus second?
Fucking no, I won't be. I actually was thinking that.
Honestly,
because when you were talking about it more, because I haven't seen either of these in a while. I've actually seen Santa Claus Coming to Town more recently, but when you were telling me about the Year Without Santa Claus and like how it doesn't have that same like Christmas magic, I can see where you're coming from. And Klaus is a really fucking good movie, and I think that it does give you the Christmas willies all up in your tummy. So I think I kind of want to put Klaus the second.
I do also. Honestly, the more we talk about the Year Without a Santa Claus, I kind of want to bump it way lower, but we're not going to do that for the sake of time.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
If you wanna bump Klaus up to 2, I'm not going to argue with that at all.
You know what? I'm going to propose.
What?
Let's put The Year Without Santa Claus at 4, and let's put Polar Express 3.
I kind of like
2,
that.
I'm okay
Santa
with this.
Claus Coming to Town.
I
number 1.
kind of like it.
I like it too.
Nothing against The Year Without Santa Claus. It's still very good. It got 4th.
You know what?
Congratulations. But
Let's put The Year
you're
Without
doing
a
great.
Santa Claus. Let's just put that shit all the way down
no.
to number 9.
No,
you know,
I can't
because
fucking do
it's
that.
not Christmas.
Nope. It is. It is Christmas.
It
is
just
the
doesn't.
Christmas without
It
the
just
Santa
doesn't
Claus.
look like it.
Well, I tried.
Yeah. I
I
would like
literally,
it to be-
I remember liking that movie so much, and then we got to talking about it, and I was like, wait a minute. I don't really want to watch this movie ever again.
Yeah, I just want to hear the song, the Heat Miser, Snow Miser song.
Okay, well, we'll put it at 4.
I'm down.
We'll do that, and then
Let's
yeah,
do it.
That's the finalized list. Boom.
Cool.
No more
Boom.
substitutions. There
we're
it is.
done. Everything is locked in, and we're coming in at just over an hour, so the fans will be happy. It might be lower than that in post. I don't know. I'm not in the future yet. I'm not editing this. Let's do a recap. Let's do it.
Wow.
Number 10, we got Nightmare Before Christmas. Every scene kid's favorite. Number 9, Mickey Christmas Character. Sorry. Number 9, A Mickey Christmas Carol.
There we go.
Not whatever the fuck I said the first time. Which is my girlfriend's favorite. Sorry. Number 8 is Frosty the Snowman. Much worse than we remember it being, apparently. Number 7, A Charlie Brown Christmas. Just depressed elementary school kids moping for 30 minutes. It's boring. Fuck it.
Mope.
Number 6, The Grinch. I love it. Number 5, Rudolph. It's pretty fucked up. Number 4, The Year Without a Santa Claus. Barely a Christmas movie. Number 3, The Polar Express. I've seen it once. Number 2, Klaus, the greatest Christmas movie ever made. And number 1, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. What do you guys think is the best Christmas movie ever made?
And thus it is.
And so it is, as our democracy works. That's it. We've done it. All of the classic and not classic animated Christmas movies have been ranked. And it's done. Our job is done. The podcast is over.
Boom. We did.
Boom.
Merry
Do it.
Christmas,
Merry
Happy
Christmas,
Hanukkah,
everybody.
all
And
the
you-
holidays.
And in the act of kindness and giving that Christmas brings, I am going to give my end card responsibilities over to you, my good buddy Kyle.
Oh, wow. What a kind gift. Can I re-gift? No. No. It's all good. Thank you guys so much for listening / watching today's episode. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and... You see that down there? There's a little thumbs up button. It's calling your name. Why don't you go ahead and press that bad boy? It's
Jingle
lit
that
up.
like button, motherfuckers.
Hell yeah. It's going to light up when you press it, much like Christmas lights. So in the spirit of the season, press that like button, or else you hate Christmas. Then go on over there and hit that subscribe button, so that way you know when we're posting more things like this. Because we do power rankings of all sorts of stuff. We do album reviews. Maybe we've got other shows on the way. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Oh boy. And to get notified when those new things come out, you could press that bell over there. Oh, ding ding. Nice.
A bell like a jingle bell?
Oh my gosh, if you hate Christmas, you're going to hit nothing. But if you love Christmas, press everything. Except for the dislike. Don't that one's for people that hate Christmas as well. It's going to light up, but like don't try it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you like us, share it on social media. And all sorts of other things. Tell your friends, tell your family, go, I got you this gift this year, and it's a podcast. It's the Talks A Lot Boys. That'd be cool. That would make our Christmas even better. And make yours better, because your family will love you for giving them quality content. This end card has gone too long. We have been the Talks A Lot Boys, and we're going to talk a whole lot more next time. Goodbye.
Merry Christmas. Topper is ironically a power bottom.